Hello, this is Wylock 7th grade worksheet, lesson 6. So for our first question, we have 3 out of 5 students in the school are boys. The total number of students is 540. How many boys are there in the school? So to solve this problem, we're going to use this ratio. 3 out of 5 students in the school are boys. So that's 3 out of 5. And then the total number is 540. So we multiply that by 540 students. Basically what the saying is, for every 5 students, so we divide by 5 because that's for each, there are 3 boys. So you multiply by 3. And when you do this, 540 divided by 5, well, that's 108. So this is the same as 3 times 108. And that is equal to 324. So your answer is C. For the next problem, you have these ratios. X to y is 2 to 3, and the ratio from z to y is 5 to 3. Now conveniently, y is 3 on both of them, or is proportional to 3 on both of them. So what we can do is x to y and z to y, we can flip one of these. I'll flip the z to y. So the ratio of z to y being equal to 5 to 3 is the same as the ratio from y to z being equal to 3 to 5. And then we already have the same one. I'm just going to write it again. And to get x to y to z, we just have to put x to y and y to z. And as long as the y is the same on both of them, they're both 3, then we can write it as one big thing, 2 to 3 to 5. So that gives you A. But this only works if the y's are the same on both. So they have to be the same here and the same here. If not, then you can do some multiplication to make it so that these are equal. Sonia puts $200 in a bank that pays 8% interest per year. So how much will she have after 1 year? Well, we have 8% interest per year in 1 year. So we know she's going to get 8% interest. And interest is on the $200 she puts in. So she's going to get an extra 8%. So 200 times 8%. Well, 8% is equal to 200, or 8% is equal to 8 over 100. So this is the same as 200 times 8 over 100. You can cancel this and this to get 2 times 8 equals 16. But she does not just have $16. She earned $16 from interest, but how much will she have in total? Well, she still has the $200, so it'll be 200 plus 16 to get $216. So that's D. Next, there are 240 employees in the company, of which 15% are women. So how many men are there in the company? Well, we can just find the number of women by multiplying 240 times 15%. And 15%, like before, is the same as 15 over 100. So we can do this multiplication. And then after you do that, you should get 36. And then the men, to find a number of men, you'll do total minus women. So 240 minus the 36 women will give you the 204 men. So you now have 204, and that's your final answer of C. And then calculate 135% of 300. So this 300 times 135 over 100. You can cancel these out, and you just get 3 times 135, and that is equal to 405. So let's see. It's just multiplication. And then 3 bottles contain 4.5 liters of juice. So how many liters of juice do 5 bottles contain? Well, we can write this out as 3 bottles. For every 3 bottles, there are 4.5 liters of juice. I'll just write it as L. So that means how many liters of juice? There are going to be X liters for every 5 bottles. And then if you multiply on both sides, I'll just get rid of the units since they're just there to help us not get confused. Now we can cross multiply to get 3x, equals 5 times 4.5. 5 times 4.5, that's equal to 22.5. So 3x equals 22.5, and then you divide both sides by 3. 22.5 divided by 3, what is that equal to? Well, it's 7.5. So that is your final answer. Next, we have Jaden traveling home from the nearest city. So he travels for 3 hours at 60 miles per hour. Now 60 miles per hour is, you can write mph, but I will write 60 miles per hour like this. That way you can clearly see that these can cancel out. And when you multiply, you'll get 180 miles. So his home from the nearest city was 180 miles. So if he's going to go back, he's going to still have to travel the same distance, 180 miles, but this time his speed is different. So you want to find the time from this and this, miles per hour and miles. So how would we do that? Well, we know time is in hours, so there should be hours at the top. So since hours is at the bottom in the speed, that speed should be divided. It should be the one that's dividing. So it should be 40 miles per hour. That way, the hours can move to the top, and we'll end up with hours at the top. And to cancel out these miles, we'll put something with miles at the top, and we'll get 180 miles. And then 180 divided by 45 is 4, and then the units cancel out, and then this one moves to the top, so this gives 4 hours. So it's T. And then here are just some addition problems. You can use a number line for these, and they involve negative numbers. So if we have 0 here, 3 here, and negative 11 here maybe, and you add these together. Well, you can start from negative 11, I think is easiest, and then you can use a number line, and then you can do the little addition thing where you jump 1, 2, 3 times, and this will give you to negative 8, because this is negative 10, this is negative 9. So 1, 2, 3, and that's negative 8. And you can do the same for all of these, but to be honest, you should try to get comfortable with using no number line and just doing the addition without it, because the number line is very slow. And here you can do 5 plus negative 10. That will give you negative 5, because this is the same as 5 minus 10, and well, 5 minus 10 is negative 5. So I'll just write out these answers. Negative 14 plus 8 is negative 6. You can think of it as 8 minus 14 if you want to. Negative 1 plus 6 is just 5. Negative 9 plus negative 4 is negative 13. 6 plus negative 12 is negative 6. 13 plus negative 7 is just 6. Negative 8 plus negative 2, that's negative 10. Negative 11 plus negative 9 is negative 20. And lastly, negative 2.4 and positive 3.9, that gives us 1.5. That's all for today, and thank you for listening.